Hey, what's up? Stone here. So before we get into this video, if you want to sketch along, this is a real-time video with the reference images showing on screen. It's a good exercise, so you can pause the video, grab a pencil and some paper, and get in some gesture practice. Okay, so to explain a little bit, today we're doing something that I haven't done in a while on this channel. I used to make these practice session videos more often, and one of those exercises that I would do in those videos was gesture sketching, timed gesture sketching. So I'll be sketching in real time here, and every 3 minutes the reference image is going to change, and the idea with gesture sketching is to focus on like the most important parts, like the big gesture lines of the pose, and try not to worry too much about all the details, because you only have a limited amount of time, so it kind of forces you to focus on the important stuff. And 3 minutes is actually a pretty long time for gesture sketching if you've never tried it, but it's just the timer that I've always used. Like, I find that to be the best for me. It works best for me. I can try to find the kind of the big lines of action of the pose, but also quickly try to define some shapes around them, around those lines. So that's just how I like to do this. But yeah, let's talk a little bit. Let's take this time to because I'm not going to be talking about gestures for this whole video, so let's take this time to do some actual talking, something a bit more personal, I guess. I hope you don't mind if I use you as my my sort of therapist. I'm sure we all have stuff on our minds, especially if you're like the artistic type. Trying to make any kind of art is always just a constant torment, pretty much, like a constant source of dissatisfaction. So yeah, how are you guys doing? Is there any inner struggle that is impacting you right now, like impacting your art, your creative process? I was actually thinking of calling these videos Gesture Sketch and Chill because of Netflix and Chill. So it could be like a sort of relaxing, comfy sketching time, like no pressure. That was a nice, cute little title that I had in mind. But apparently Netflix and Chill actually means having sex. Like, it's a euphemism for sex. I had no idea. Like, I swear I had no idea. I don't know. Like, I genuinely thought that Netflix and Chill just meant chilling while watching Netflix. I guess I'm just that naive or something. But yeah, if you look it up on like Urban Dictionary, apparently most people agree that it's much more than just chilling. And I'm pretty sure that I've actually used that expression with people and in like situations where it would be completely inappropriate if you consider that meaning, like that hidden meaning. Like, I just want to get some snacks, get some blankets, get comfy. But yeah, people had to ruin that perfectly innocent expression in my perfectly innocent little mind. But I think I'll still call this Gesture Sketch and Chill. Like, everyone can just take away the meaning that they want. So let's talk about work a little bit, because I've been pretty lucky, I would say, recently with work, like finding freelance work. I'm doing multiple projects at the same time. I'm enjoying all of them. I'm trying to squeeze like every possible amount of work that I can out of every day, every week. And yeah, I'm really grateful for that. Like, I know that in a couple months I might have nothing again on my schedule, and then it's back to stressing out about finding more work. But yeah, right now it's literally like my day is just walking from my bed to my computer, and when I'm done drawing on my computer, it's time to go to bed again. It's definitely the most hours a week, like, or a month that I've worked ever, I think. Like, it's pretty like, it's tiring, but it is kind of rewarding at the same time. And like with that type of schedule, those chill moments have so much more value. Like, they feel so much better. Like Netflix and Chill. At least the like the non-sexual version of Netflix and Chill, like, that only feels good when you don't do it often. Like, if you just Netflix and chill all day, every day, it doesn't make you feel good anymore. But yeah, right now for me it does sound pretty good. Like, I would definitely appreciate some Netflix and chill moments. And I think the fact that it's also like almost winter, it's starting to snow here, like, that definitely boosts the comfy levels even higher of those chill moments. Like, blankets, for example. I think I've talked about my passion for blankets before. Like, on this channel, on streams, but making yourself a blanket cocoon, like just living 24/7 wrapped in a blanket cocoon when it's snowing outside, like that has to be one of the greatest pleasures in life, I think. I know that there have to be other people out there, like people of culture, who share the joy of the blanket cocoon. But yeah, that is just to give you a sort of general overview of my amazing life. Like I'm just a ball of blankets rolling from my bed to my desk, back and forth. I also keep saying this every year in my videos, but I really think there's some kind of like seasonal slump that artists or like artistic people feel in the season. And I haven't checked this year, but for several years in a row, I noticed that at this time, like this time of year in the fall, like early winter, all kinds of videos start popping up on art channels on YouTube about art slumps, art blocks, like art depression or like lack of inspiration, like how to overcome art blocks, how to find inspiration, all that stuff, like those kind of videos. And it seemed interesting to me that like repeatedly, almost like on a cycle, so many people seem to have these same thoughts every year, like synchronize the feelings about their art pretty much. And I guess like after summer, like there's this sort of natural slump when summer ends, like everything kind of slows down. But I actually like fall and winter, like I love snow, I love rain, but I still somehow always end up having some kind of like some self-doubt or something, like at this time of year, like I start hating my art for no reason. I don't know, like I think I mentioned this same thing last year in a video as well, but at this point I'm also trying to not make it like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like if I think in advance that I'm going to start hating my art at this time of year, like I don't want that thought to actually be the thing that causes the problem. But yeah, right now I'm not feeling very good at all about my art. I'm just questioning a lot of choices that I've made, stylistic choices and other choices. Like I always try to keep in mind the stuff that made me want to learn how to draw. Like that sort of that first spark that you get as a kid, like in your childlike mind. I think that's, to me at least, that's like the most powerful force when it comes to motivation, like staying in touch with that spark when everything was exciting and new as a kid. And for me, a lot of it was like it had to do with comics and like mangas. Comics were sort of imprinted into my brain as the art form that excites me the most, and like something that takes me into new places, new worlds and stuff. So the choices that I've made stylistically have a lot to do with that, like focusing on line art, like in comics, and not too much on colors. But then the stuff that I do now for work is concept art. And when you look at the majority of concept art, it's not like comic book style line art. Like it's mostly painterly kind of stuff. Like if you browse like ArtStation, for example, there's not much of a place there for line art. And like I really like that type of painterly concept art as well, but the stuff that I draw just kind of feels out of place there. And I don't know, like at the same time I'm not drawing comics either, so it's not like I have a place there either. And I kind of feel the same way about YouTube. Like there are clear groups, like different sort of crowds when it comes to the art side of YouTube. Like you have the channels that only draw like manga, anime stuff, and they have their audience. And then you have the channels that are about like Western comics, like superhero stuff, and those also have their little corner. Then you have the sort of Tumblr style YouTube channels with that specific art style, and those people also have their audience. Then you have the big technical, like academic channels like Proco and Cynics and so on. Like all those people that have become like art teachers now, they are their own group and they also have their audience. And I just wish that I could like, I don't know, like that I could identify even a little bit with any of those groups. Like it's nice to feel like you belong, I guess. Like that's what we're all looking for out here, that feeling of belonging. But yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing here on this channel. Like I go from world building stuff to doing graphic design to tutorials to concept art. And like I personally enjoy all of that. but if I had a like a more specific niche, like if I belonged in one of those niche categories instead, maybe that would help the channel grow. I don't know. Like that's also been something that's been on my mind. And actually, on the subject of world building, the fact that I ended that Gigas project early, that is still bothering me. Like it's still on my mind. It's been 6 months, I think now. But yeah, I had so many ideas, like I wanted to do so much with it, and that stuff just gets stuck in your head. I was actually listening to a podcast earlier this week while I was drawing the Joe Rogan podcast. He had Edward Norton as a guest, and at one point he was talking about like basically what it takes to realize a vision that you have in your head, like in your mind. And he mentioned the Hulk movie that he was in. And it's not a great movie, and I don't think that he likes it that much either. But when he was talking about the vision that he had for that movie, like his interpretation of Hulk as basically a like a Promethean character that steals the fire from the gods and then he's cursed for it. I forget how he said it exactly. Like the way that he phrased it in that podcast, it was like, it felt like I could see, like I could peek into his mind and see his vision of what he wanted to do with it. He said something about Banner, like the scientist cracking open the back of God and stealing this forbidden power in the form of science, like the science that turns him into the Hulk. And he's someone who's obsessed with like control, with self-control in every way. And the Hulk is like the ultimate curse for him because it's the exact opposite of that. It's the opposite of control. And when you when you watch the movie, all of those themes, they kind of get lost. And it's not really what you see in the movie when you watch it. But when he was talking about it, like I was thinking, yeah, I can see it. I can see your vision. Like behind that bad movie, there is actually something good. Like there was the potential for something great, even maybe. And yeah, he was talking the same way about his new movie, saying that he was pitching this really weird idea to people about this cop who has like Tourette's syndrome in a sort of noir crime movie, and people were thinking that sounds stupid, that they were not interested. But he had this vision for it in his mind, and he just had to try to communicate that vision until someone saw the potential in it and helped him make it. And like I'm listening to this with this idea for Gigas still stuck in my mind, and I'm thinking maybe I didn't communicate it well. Like maybe I need to stick with it even if people don't like it at first. And I don't know. Like obviously I'm not saying that whatever I do is on the same level, like the same creative level as Edward Norton, but the idea of sticking to your vision, like that idea of I don't know how to put it, like making other people see what you see, basically. I don't know. It made me think a lot, and it also really made me really feel like shit. But I can always blame that on this seasonal slump, I guess. But at this point, I think I've been through this cycle of doubting what I do and not wanting to look at what I draw. Like I've been through it enough times to not be too affected by it. I might sound like I'm just whining and complaining, but I'm perfectly fine. I just keep doing what I do and let it pass. And honestly, I think that's the best way to deal with any demotivation or slump if you have something like that going on. Like if you stop making whatever it is that you're making, the art that you're making, if you take a break because of it, because of that slump, like the whole argument of like you need to take time for yourself to think or to heal or whatever, like that's when the slump wins. But if you just say like, fuck you slump, I'm going to keep making whatever art it is that I'm making, then you just end up pushing through it much faster. But yeah, that's it. That's what's been on my mind lately. So feel free to share in the comments if you want to participate in this sort of collective art therapy session. We can have discussions down there. And if you end up sketching these figures in this video, I'm always interested in seeing other people's results. So if you tag me on Twitter, Discord, I'll check them out. The links to all those things are down in the description below. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you would like to support this channel and help me make more videos, check out this Patreon link on screen right now or in the description below, where you can get all of my PSD files as well as real-time versions of all my videos.